Hi, hello, namaste. Whatever you feel connected with, this is Jyothi. Welcome back to our channel, Balaji English Language Learners. The word do, do, appears a lot in English language. Do you know how to use these words? Like do, does, did correctly? Does anyone know the correct usage of these words in questions? Did your teacher explain this properly in class or left you confused? Okay. We will make all this very simple for you in this session. So let's get going. This is an English grammar lesson where we will discuss the correct usage of these words do, does, and did, which can be pretty confusing at times. You doesn't know which word to use when. Either I have to use do or does here. I should use did. What should I use? That means you are pretty confusing at times. I will try to keep this class very simple without using too many grammar complex terms. And we will also practice along the way. Okay, so before that, let me share the screen with you so that you will have a better idea of usage of this and you can note down if you are interested to. See here, as I already told you, welcome back to our channel, Balaji English Language Learners. Now we are going to learn or know about the usage of few words in a sentence like do, does, did, and done. When we are going to use, how we are going to use, we are going to see in this session. See here, do, does, and did are all the forms of verb that is to do. To do is only the form of verb which we are interested in, like to do something, to do some work. Like whether you have to use did, does, do, or everything will come to a conclusion in this session if you watch it till end. In the simple present tense, we use do or does. Remember a simple thing, that is in simple present tense, whenever you get a sentence in simple present tense, we have to use only the word do or does. Depending on the subject we do or does we use. Just like if you think like a word called go in an example. Okay, for example, if you take do, did, done, doing. The same way go, went, gone, going. Okay, next. Here we have to do. To do forms are of 4 types. Verb is to do and this verb is of 4 types. What are those 4 types? See, in the present tense we have do or does. What do we have? Do or does. Whenever it is in a present tense, we have to either use do or we use does, depending on the subject. I said we are going to learn that in the next slides. Subject. What is a subject actually? Do you have any idea about a subject? Subject is nothing but just the person who is doing the work. About whom we are speaking is a subject there. Okay. If it is in the past tense, we use the verb form did. That is nothing but V2 form. If it is in the past participle, we use V3. Okay. To have a clear idea, just remember one thing. If it is in the present tense, we use either do or does depending on the subject. If it is past, we always use did only. Think or remember in such a way that if it is past, we use did. If it is past participle, if we have to use V3 form, then we use done. Okay. This is just like a signal words I already told you. Okay. I always tell you about the signal words, right? Don't get confused. Now, what is to do in present tense? I said either do or does we use. So, how do we use either do or does? Tell me, how do we use? See here. The present tense to do, if the subject is I, you, we, or they, we use do. That means a subject should be in such a way that we can use the word do. How can we use the word do? If the subject is singular, I, you, we, they. You can ask, they is a plural word. Yes, We is also a plural. That means you can, by seeing the line itself, you can say you can use for either singular or plural, both. But how we are going to use? First person, second person, or third person? That you have to decide now. Just think. I, which person? She, he. I, you, he, she. Is it third person, second person, or first person? We have already discussed. So give a short time task to your brain. Ask your brain and answer it. Okay. For example, if I say, I do my laundry on Saturdays. Here, I is given. I is subject here. When I said I is subject is given, you have to use do. So we have used do. Okay. Next, they do their chores. Chores is nothing but here works. When they arrive home, after they come home, they are going to do their work. So they is given. So plural again. And also, I said if it is they, we use do, right? So we are using do again. He does nothing all day. That means he's time passing every time. He's just sitting and just nodding, watching, not doing any type of work. He does not do anything. Instead of that, I said he does nothing all day. She does charity. She, again, when I said he and she, what I am using does. Okay, she does charity when she has time. Everybody will do the same thing. If that person doesn't have any time, how come they'll think about charity things? Like charity is nothing but offering something free of cost, or just like donating money. Yes? Yeah. Next, when we move on, to do, and it is in a past form. Previously, we read about present tense. If it is present, I told you we will use either do or does. Now we are using past tense. For every past tense, V2 form, we use only did. Only did. What is did here? How do we use did? For all the subjects, we use did only. Either he, I, we, she, whatever it is. For example, when I give you a word called I did my homework in record time. That means you have, maybe you have completed it, plenty of time is there, but you have completed faster. We did everything we could to help. Whatever I can do, I have done. So we did everything we could to help. He did a somersault on a trampoline. Try. Yeah. Please don't try again. You will be saying that madam told and we have done it. Right. To do for the past participle V3 form. The past participle of do is done. I already told. Do, did, done, doing. Okay. Now the past participle V3 form is done. Now you have to remember one thing. What is that? The past participles will accompany, means have, take the support for to have or to be in the correct tense. Suppose when I say done you are using, when how you will use, you will take the support of few things. Like you use either have or has. You have to take the support. Sometimes you use for the be forms like will, was, is. That should be there to help the word done. Okay. Suppose I say the sentence, I have done my homework. I done my homework is wrong. So what you have to do, you have to remember to use to have or to be forms. What are to be forms? Is, was, are, am, like that. Okay. So what you have to do, either you have to write, I have done my homework, or you write, he has done a good job. If either you can write has or have. Where to use have, has, had. This also I have done a video. You can check it out. Okay. The video will show you how it is done. How it done, we cannot say. So we are using be form again, is. So you have to remember to use either have form or to be form along with past participle done. Suppose when I say the another sentence like the report was done on no time. That means they have completed in no time. Okay. Next, sometimes we use to do also to replace a verb. Suppose when I say, we sometimes use to replace a verb, I said. Why we use? To make the meaning clear or obviously correct. Like in spoken informal way of English, what do we say? We say, do I need to do my hair? Do I need to do my hair? That means, do I need to brush my hair or do I need to comb my hair? Yes. Do I need to? Is a question there. At that time, what you are doing? You are using the word do. Meaning is different. That means we are replacing the verb. Instead of writing brushing or instead of writing combing, we are writing do. Okay. Otherwise, you can use another example like, have you done the dishes yet? That means, have you cleaned? Have you washed the dishes? Instead of saying the verb washed or cleaned, I'm giving you a word called done. It is also perfectly right. Or else you can use like this. I will do kitchen if you do the lawns. Here, do the kitchen means I will clean the kitchen. And what is doing the lawns? I will mow the lawns. Okay. All right. Next. When we go on with the does, when do we use does? In a clear sense, see, when you are talking about singular persons or third person. Yes, remember, either for singular persons or for the third persons when you use, like for example, he, she, it, Sita, Ram, car, you use does. Just like you use goes. Yes, go, goes, went, gone, going. Okay, like that only we use does. Suppose, for example, I say, Ram does his homework every day. Ram, what he is doing? He will do his homework every day. So Ram is what here? He is a singular person and is also a third person. See, I, first person, you, second person, third person is someone else, right? And he is singular only, one person only. So I used here does. Okay, she does her exercises every morning. Every morning she does her exercises. That means what here does? Again, she is a singular in count and third person again. Okay, next. When we move on for the next one, do. Does completed. Now do. In all other cases, we use do only. Other than does. When we use for the does, we use in third person as well as in a singular form. But now do, in other cases, we use it seems. For example, when I say for example, when you are talking about subjects like I, you, we, they, those, these, or any other plural forms, you can use do. And it should not be as a third person or plural form. Think. Again, think. It's again, it asks for you. Just now I told you the previous slide. Just connect it to the next slide. Okay. For example, I give you the sentence called, I do lot of work these days. I do lot of work these days. You do volunteer work on Sundays. They do nothing at all. We do our laundry on weekends. Okay, these are the sentences I already gave you in previous slide, but I am repeating it to you so that you have a clear idea where to use do. Suppose when I say Geeta and Sita and Geeta, one and the same, do not like cats. Instead of writing Sita and Geeta, I can say they. Yes or no? So here, instead of writing Sita and Geeta, I can write they. They do not like cats. It's also perfectly right. Yes? Yes. They do not, I said. When I said do not, what did I do? I transformed the sentence into a negative sentence. You have to notice something here. What is that? Notice how I brought it into a negative sense. Do not. Sita and Geeta do not like cats. That means they don't like cats. Instead of writing do not in a contracted form, I can write as a don't. Okay. Next. When we move on for the next part, the negative parts now. Just now I told do not became don't. Will not become won't. Does not become doesn't. Okay, like that, the negative forms of do and does are fairly simple. That means you just easily understand. Do not becomes don't and does not becomes doesn't in a contracted form. Doesn't and don't. It's a very easy type. See, do not. Just we have removing O and putting an apostrophe there. Does not. Again, removing O and putting an apostrophe there. When we are speaking, what do you say? I don't know. I do not know, we won't say. We say, I don't know, right? We don't know. They don't know, like that. However, if you are writing a formal assignment or paper, we use the full forms. We won't write like I don't, we don't. We say we do not, it does not. Okay. The simple way, when you are writing, you use full form, and when you are speaking, you say in a short form, like a contracted form. Okay. Now, when do we use did? What is did? Don't worry, we are going to have exercises also in the later on slides. Just listen to the concept first, then we'll do with the exercises. Did is used when we are talking in past tense, I said. As I already told, it is used when we are talking in past tense, P-A-S-T, past. Means already completed. Now, and it becomes fairly simple because both do and does become did. They become did in the past tense. They won't change again. They won't have any some other words. Or both do become did only, does also become did only in the past. For example, I said, I did my assignment last night. When did I do? I did it last night. I did my assignment last night. He did his homework on time. He completed his homework on time. He did. He completed. Replacing again. Okay. The girls did the ballet at school. Because the girls, again, girls, plural form. Okay. Girls did again. Okay. The car did not get cleaned yesterday. It's a negative. Did not. So it's a negative. Okay. Again, in the negative sense only we have to use that. Again, when we move on for the next one, that negative of did is did not. When we shorten, it becomes didn't, as I told you, when we speak. And now you are going to write few sentences with do, does, did. And you have to comment it under this video to practice using these words. And now that we know the basics, let's move on with the next part. Okay, next part is nothing but the past participle of do is done. Yes, the past participle of do is done. Now it is important again to remember, you have to add, we have to use the words like to have, to be forms for this also, because it is used in a perfect tense. So we have to use be form plus past participle, V3. Okay, V3 is compulsory. For example, you can see here, I have done my homework. Have done, perfect tense. For every perfect tense, we have to use have, right? Be form plus past participle. Remember? Right. She has done a good job, or he has done a good job. Here also, either we use have or we use has, because it is in future, perfect. Not only future, it is in a perfect tense. Perfect, for everything we use V3 only, as you remember. I hope you remember. Otherwise, just do watch the other videos also, so that you just remind it. Now, these two sentences are in a present perfect tense, because they have either has or have before the past participle done. Present perfect tense we have already discussed. Yes, the video will show you how it is done. How it is done. Previously, I gave you the same example. We are using is, auxiliary form of verb help. Then the report was done on time, was again auxiliary form of verb help. This we are using only to make it, as if we are using it in a perfect tense, we have to use the principle like be form plus past participle. Okay. Next, when we move on with the next one, nothing but the helping verbs. What are helping verbs for do now? Do is the general form, V1 form, and it does not have any specific action associated with it. Yes, it does not have any specific action associated with it. So, it sometimes can be used in few other ways also. What are those few other ways? Like questions and the negative statements. Suppose I give you a sentence called, you study. How do you make this sentence into questioning sentence? Do you study? How do you make that into negative? You do not study. You don't study again. Okay. So here, what we are doing, we are just making that complete sentence into either a statement form, or in a negative form, or in a questioning form. Three types will be having. Do you remember in the every tenses we have discussed? Like positive, like affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Now you study is affirmative. Do you study? Again, we have to add a question mark here. That is interrogative. You do not study. Again, you have to add a full stop here. This is a negative form. Okay. Now, for suppose I say he walks. Does he walk? He does not walk. And now what you observe here, there is no S here. I'm not saying does he walks. Yes, am I saying does he walks? He does not walks. No, I'm not saying. Why? See here, we are not adding yes. Remember that for the negative and the statements, only depending on sometime we use yes. Okay. Notice that here, what happens to work and study? They remain in their base form. They remain the same. Constantly, they remain the same form. And in the simple present tense, it is walk only. Okay. Now, let's try some more examples. Suppose I say she loves dogs. Does she love dogs? She does not love dogs. Let's practice making questions together now. I'll be telling you, you have to comment it down. They speak English. Whether you have tried, do they speak English or does they speak English? Think. It is a correct form. She lives in France. The earth goes round the sun. The doll has black hair. We like reading. Now I'm giving you 10 seconds time. Just try to answer at least 2 out of these. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Time up. If at all you wanted to answer and time does not exist, and that means the time is not waiting for you. So what you have to do, just pause the video, comment it below, and then resume the video and see. Okay, that's a little trick where I can help you out in practicing. Okay, next. The answers are given here like this. They speak English, I said. Do they speak English? Is a present tense. Did they speak English? Is a past tense. They do not speak English is a negative tense. She lives in France. Does she live in France? Did she live in France? She did not live in France. Okay. The earth goes around the sun. Does the earth go around the sun? Did the earth go around the sun? The earth does not go around the sun. The doll has black hair. Does the doll have black hair? Did the doll have black hair? The doll does not have black hair. Present, past, and negative. Observe one thing. In the present, we are using either did, no, do, or does. In past, we are using did. And in the negative, we can use any depending on the situation there. Okay. Next, we like reading. Do we like reading? Did we like reading? We do not like reading. Okay. Yeah. Next, when we go for the questions in the past tense, the statement will be in a simple present tense. Example, the question, you have to make the questions in the past tense. Suppose I say the sentence called, he eats bread. He eats bread. What do he eat? He eats bread. Now, the question will be like, in the present tense, does he eat bread? Did he eat bread in the past? Okay, the questioning words like this, we are using does and did both. For this, we are using does he eat bread? Did he eat bread? Okay, now there is no change in the sentence except the words we have changed from does to did. Does became did, but we did not change completely. See that. He, eat, bread, as it is. But the present to past, what did we do? We changed the form of the questioning word because in the past we always use did. I told you. Okay. So it will be wrong to say, did he ate bread? See, this is wrong, completely wrong. Why it is wrong? Because in the past we have to use did, correct? But ate is wrong. We have to use eat. Okay. Then it is, did he eat bread? That would be correct. Why it would be correct? Because it is in simple present tense. Because it is in simple present tense, we use the form of verb eat. That is V1. Now, for example, I give you another example. They speak English. Do they speak English? Did they speak English? These are the things we have already discussed. So we are including it in a example with a suitable proper way. Okay. Suppose I give you the task here, the work you have to do. So you have to either write do, did, does, or done. What are the words you are going to select and write? Think and answer in the comment box below. Suppose when I say the answers will be given or enclosed to you later, please don't try to copy it. Try to answer it on your own. When you answer it on your own, you will be having a very good grammar point. As I already told you, I did not give you any type of critical grammar point here. We have just discussed in an easier way, smooth going way. Suppose when I give you a question called dash, you know about test tomorrow. Do you know about the test tomorrow or does you know? Think. I don't know the answer. Dash Miss Charles give homework yesterday. Dash Kathy and Peter know about the submission tomorrow. Dash you know what happened in the lab today. Blank again. Anyone have the physics textbook? Dash Jyothi know the girl in red? So what would be the answers? See here, the answers are given to you, but please try to answer it before seeing the answers only. Okay. Do you know about the test tomorrow? Does Miss Charles give homework every day? Do Kathy and Peter know about the submission tomorrow? Do you know what happened in the lab today? Does anyone have the physics textbook? Does Jyothi know the girl in red? Yes. These are all what? These are all nothing but just a type of sentences, questioning sentences. Okay. Thank you so much for listening till now. Have a nice day. Do practice. If you practice only, you are going to have a very good communication skills. The way you practice, the more you practice. Here we are trying to give you quality education. Our aim is only to provide you quality education. Thank you so much for making time and listening and watching this video. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.